In today's episode of the Pathwing Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Nick Berry. He's a marketing ops guy or marketing operations manager over at Better Agency. And essentially, at Better Agency, they help, agencies to sell more insurances with one single system, right? It's a sales-driven MS, powerful CRM, and essentially, helping you to provide proposals if you're selling insurances. So in short, it's an insurance management software that does it all. So today we're talking with Nick about the company, about the growth, but also what he's thinking about the marketing operations side of things for Better Agency. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very good. Yes. So Nick, maybe give us a quick overview. What is Better Agency all about in your own words?
The easiest way to describe it is there's all these legacy systems that have existed for 20 years. They were built pre-internet. Most of the systems that agencies are using, you can think of them as like digital filing cabinets for agency policy information. None of them were really built for the internet age. Better Agency was we started out as a CRM for insurance agencies, trying to connect all these systems, and they didn't want to play with us. So we had to build our own agency management system, just because it's just how the cards played. And so we are an agency management system and CRM that allows agencies to sell more insurance without having to use multiple tools and everything. But our shtick is, you don't have to duct tape all your tools together to sell more insurance when you're using Better Agency.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, who would you say? I mean, obviously, we're talking about folks selling insurance, but is there a certain scale that they would need to have, a certain size from when the tool makes sense, certain amount of employees? So, tell us a bit. Who's a sort of a great fitting client?
It was built to be able to, so a scratch brand new agency with one employee. We have a function. We have tools we have a setup for them. But that I say our magic sweet mark is about 7 to 10 employees. Those are the ones that they're selling a lot of insurance. They need better automations. They don't have anybody in house that can figure out how to do the automations, and they don't have a copywriter. They just don't have the resources to do all those things. So that's where I see maybe 5 to 10 employees is kind of our sweet mark as far as size of an agency. Mm-hmm. And it's primarily P&C, which is property and casualty insurance agencies. So your retail, brick and mortar, local insurance agency is our primary customer.
Gotcha. That makes a tons of sense. So now what I'm thinking about is who within those companies is actually the one who's, raising the hand and says, we need something like Better Agency, with us.
A lot of times they're still small operations. So the president, the CEO, the founder of the agency is the one most of the time coming in. Sometimes we'll see a salesperson who saw an ad for us or saw our team at a trade show or an event or something, and then they may bring it into the agency owner. But our primary driver our primary decision maker is the agency owner.
Gotcha. Agency owner finding you guys, and how do they find you guys? Like, what's sort of the channels that they walk through?
We are seeing a ton of success on paid search and paid social. Those are our two main drivers. We have an agency we work with that does a fantastic job of finding the audiences.
Makes sense. That means I guess they send them over to your website and then they explore the product.
Yeah. We have, that's pretty much it. They come to our website our CMO is an amazing creative. We have a ton of him and I's personal philosophy is we don't create a ton of content around the product. We create a ton of content around the things that will make insurance agencies more money or be more successful. We drive and promote that content versus product driven content. Then once they get to our site, we've done the value add up front. We've done all that hard work up front. And then they come to us like, oh, these guys actually do believe in what we call agency success.
Yep. Makes a whole lot of sense. Now, when they're on your website, what do you think sort of, if you have, you actually were talking about the very creative approach to the website and the very creative approach to content, like what do you think is sort of the strength of the website as it is right now versus where do you even see room for further development and improvement?
Well, right now our front end website is performing very, very well. It's just a matter of telling the story about solving the problem versus showing the product, talking about what the problem is that we know insurance agencies have. Our CMO was a former insurance agency. We have some of our key first investors were our insurance agency owners, so we know the problems. So it's talking about those problems and how we're going to solve them, or showing them how we're solving that problem through our solution.
Gotcha. Makes tons of sense. Now, let's switch gears a little bit, right? We talked about, the product. We talked about how you think about growth. We talked a bit about, the marketing side of things. I'm curious to learn about your role as a in marketing operations. Sort of what's the things that you are, most concerned about? What does, marketing operations look like at Better Agency?
Yeah, so my role, they created this role for me. When I was, they reached out to me to come work for the company. I was interviewing with the C-level executives, and some of the things I brought up, they were like, "Yeah, we need to fix that." So is my key thing, and like I'm not a creative marketer. I am an operations. I'm a tech and process marketer. I went, post-military. I went to college to be an engineer. Changed paths pretty quickly, but so I still have some of that engineer brain in me that goes, processes are going to be the way that you can help solve problems. So that's my key thing. One of the first things I did when I came out of the company was stand up our CRM and go and kind of evaluate. I took a month. I just learned our company and learned how they're doing business. Learned how our sales team does business, learns how we're doing all of our inbound data, and go, these are the problems. This is how we can fix it, and we deployed it. I stood a blank HubSpot environment up in 30 days, and have everything running 100% inbound, and have all the data flowing, and have dashboards and reporting for our C-levels on what's happening when, for everything from our current show rate, improving our show rate. That was my first thing. My first project was improving our show rate for our demos. They were pretty low, and it was just a matter of the tech stack wasn't working right, and figuring out how to improve that and make sure people were showing up to our calls.
Okay, very cool. Awesome. That sounds pretty good. As we're slowly coming to the end of the interview, let's have some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
Sure.
What would be the last book that you read?
$100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi.
What would be the one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Helping insurance agencies write more insurance.
What's the one single thing that you would fix for your role as a marketing operations guy if there would be no boundaries in technology?
Without limitations, it's ad spend. It's having, if I had unlimited resources, it would be having an unlimited ad spend budget, because it's just you have to pick and choose where you're going and where you're spending money.
Google and Facebook would definitely like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Very good. And for the very last question, I'd like to do a little bit of time travel, right? Let's go back to William Penn, right? You're heading out of formal education into the world of technology, business, and the likes. What would be the one advice you would give yourself for your journey?
Pay attention better in psychology.
Very good. Nick, I really appreciate you joining us today to be a guest on Pathmark Presents. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed in our call today about Better Agency, what's the one thing people should remember?
Our primary focus is agency success. That's our driver. We want people we want agencies to be successful, whether they use our tools or not. That's why we create a lot of the content we do.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathmark Presents.
Absolutely appreciate it.